This is Jaden, obviously. I'm trying out some settings and stuff to figure out what I need to do to get this to work out properly for painting some stuff later. Reacquainting myself with Streamlabs and everything. And yeah. Trying to figure out how I can see the chat without having to like have Twitch open at the same time. So the plan for tonight is we're going to paint for a little bit. We're going to build a couple of things, talk about how I build stuff, and you know, just hang out for a little bit. But first I have to figure out a couple of things. Like how to see who's even here. And as soon as I figure that out. Nope, that's not what I want. Nope, 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 none of that. Notifications window? Nope. Performance window? Nope, not that either. Huh. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna flat out open up Twitch and look at the chat. I'm very quiet. Alright, well that's good to know. Oh no. Alright, there we go. Hi, Jarek. / Richard. Okay, so hold on a second. If I'm very quiet, that means I need to turn that up. And I do that here. Wait, no, this is as loud as I get. Maybe I need to turn it up on the mixing box. Is that any better? I sound fine-ish. Okay. Is the audio... That's much better? Okay. Yeah, so that's one of the fun things that I'm doing right now is I'm messing around with a separate audio system that then feeds into my computer and the mics go into that. So there's like 3 different ways I can turn up myself and turn down myself. So I'm never quite entirely certain which thing I need to do. Oh, hey Jay, how's it going? Anyway, yeah, so the plan for tonight is I'm going to try and highlight this like muscular system so that it looks like this muscular system. So that, you know, matching set and all that. And then after I get that done, or even just like partially done, I'm going to build probably this Raker and possibly this Factotum and maybe Astreus. Haven't decided yet. Depends how we're doing. And if you'll just bear with me, I need to go tell everybody in the world that I'm streaming so that, you know, they show up. It's been a very weird experience having to like figure out how audio and video stuff goes when it's audio and video compared to just the podcast, which is really easy by most things. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's good. My stream setup is a monster, Richard. You don't want to see it. Yeah, I ordered the Factotum like a week ago, so I don't know. Fun fact: this order that I ordered from like mid United States almost took as long. Well, I got an order from Russia in here that is going to be here on Monday, so this like almost took longer than that. What are we soft run testing for? So the plan is we were gonna do something called Pillars of Paint, like, I don't know, a year ago, and then that just sort of didn't work because our original plan, it turned out, was a nightmare. We were gonna do like me and Tyson both streaming painting at the same time with then like Brett or Sabra or somebody else on the line with us. Yeah, that test run, and it was a disaster because it turned out that having to download and upload like 6 different, it was a disaster on the back end. Having to do that many things at once was taxing on basically everybody's computer at best and a complete impossibility at worst. So I'm gonna try this with just like having Brett on a call with me basically and talk to me about painting, and I can answer his questions and he can ask them. And we're gonna try and do that like once a week or maybe like every other week. And this is also a good way for me to like make video content and do unboxing videos, so that I can just do them and not have to like awkwardly sit here in front of my computer and do them. Arrest, is that you, Ben? I'm assuming that's you, Ben. Whoa, this got really bright suddenly. Okay, there we go. Wolf, I don't think you'd want me to read the dictionary, honestly. Hey, Ben. So yeah, so as I mentioned maybe at the beginning when there were a lot less people. Turn off the auto adjust. Yeah, you're right, I do, because I forgot to do that earlier. I probably have to turn off the, nope, not that. I probably have to turn off the auto adjust for the white capture too, to be honest, because otherwise it's going to go really weird on me. Configure video. It shouldn't be auto brightnessing. Oh, exposure. Okay, hold on. Let's. No. Come back. Probably about there. We'll try that. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So, for the plan for tonight, more or less, is to take this arm and make it look like this arm, and that's going to require basically a bunch of highlighting, because currently my plan for most everything is to start really, really dark and then go up from there. So what we've got right here is Chimera Phthalo Green, Chimera Cold Yellow. These are both like 2 of my absolute favorite paints. I'm also going to get out a little bit of Chimera White and, oops, Warm Yellow, because these are the colors that I've been using for the dragon skin the whole time. This is a commission piece that I'm doing. Okay, so when you're using a wet palette for metallics, so there's 2 things that you need to be aware of. First of all, metallic paints. Phthalo Green, yeah, exactly. That's a Bob Ross thing for sure. So when you're using metallics, you have to be aware of a couple of things. First of all, when you're painting with regular paint, the bonding agent, I can't remember what it's called, the solution, the solvent, something, is basically holding dissolved pigment in it. And for pigment, you can get really, really fine with that. The problem is that metallic paint is almost completely non-pigmented. It's almost all flecks of actual metal. They use mica flakes. And so when you put water into that system, like continuously, it goes really, really fast. So if you're going to use metallics, first of all, I typically, well, I don't actually know all that much about what you do with metallics. I haven't used them a ton. But when I do use them, I put them on at the beginning. I like to dry brush it if I'm going to do that. And then I have somewhere around here a little palette attachment. So if it's happening with non-metallics, oh, here it is. So this is my palette attachment. This is a Red Grass Games palette, and it's a really good one. But this is my palette attachment. I use it for like inks and metallics when I'm going to use them. So if that's happening with your non-metallics, what you're probably doing is this is probably too wet over here. You don't want a ton. This is probably too wet, honestly, for me as well. But because I'm planning on using most of it in one go, I'm not super worried about it. So, yeah, I don't know. Wet palettes are weird. Like, it can vary from brand to brand. Also, it might change what your surface humidity is like after a few strokes, huh? What kind of paper are you using on it? So actually, I should get this out of the way, hey, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So what I'm doing here is I'm mixing a little bit. Yeah, it could be just to get used to it thing. It could be just like your wet palette is a little too wet. It could be lots of things, honestly. So well, let me just zoom in here. Oh, it's not doing anything. Weird. Okay. So what I'm doing here, yeah, wet metallics are a little bit like a 3D printer. Actually, I do agree with that. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to get my camera to focus, is I'm mixing together the phthalo green with the warm yellow and a little bit of the cold yellow. This is going to be my first highlight layer, and I'm planning on doing about like 6 different highlight layers and then a shade layer. This wing actually isn't done. There's a couple spots like right here and right here that I need to touch up, but that's really fast and this part's really boring by comparison, so I thought I'd just power through it. I'm going to be starting pretty close to this dark color down here. Nothing in painting comes easy. How true. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to try and just like angle this a bit so that if you're looking right down at it, all these surfaces you can see right here from the camera position are the spots I'm going to hit. So I'm just going to go like, I'm basically just drawing little blobby shapes with my paintbrush. So there's like, oh, come on, focus. Okay, maybe I need to see, like I said, this is a trial run because the camera is being the worst. Okay, maybe I need to set a non-autofocus and just sort of live with the fact that I'm going to have to adjust it manually. Let's see. If we turn off autofocus. Oh, hey, look at that. Okay, so I think what this is, that's maybe a little better. I don't know. It's really hard to tell because I have to look at like 3 different input devices. I do need to get a second camera for the palette. I agree, but this is like mostly just messing around to see if this is even feasible. What paint scheme should you do for your knights? And you want to do them after Mayan gods. Well, what I would do then is I would look up different Mayan gods and I would see what those guys like traditionally look like. Yeah, green and purple would be good. I agree. Although if you did Quetzalcoatl, you'll have to use a lot of like reds and purples and greens and things. So, as I said, yeah, base them off of something for sure. Yep, reference photos forever. I agree. Or do what I did for my Eternus Continuum and just like find some line art of it somewhere and you know, computer, or even just like get out colored pencils. Man, your names are way cooler than mine, Ben. The first Chaos Knight I finished, I named Twilight's Call because I was feeling poetic. Okay, so as soon as I wet this down, it looks like it's going to go on really, really vibrant, but this is going to dry a lot darker than it looks like it is. Does the stream say Requiem? Huh. Oh, it does, doesn't it? Let me see if I can fix that. Thanks, Loth. I'm sorry, man. I clearly advertised what I was doing. Alright, let me see if I can fix that, because that's a fair point. Stream settings. Oh, I can't change that while I'm live. Let me see if I can change it on Twitch. It says I'm playing War Machine Tactics. I think War Machine Tactics is like the only thing that I can, like, Twitch will let me say I'm streaming. Maybe not. Edit panels. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that this time. Because I'd rather paint. Character painting in character. I don't know. I painted a few D&D models at this point, and... Oh, you're watching my... Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so this is me as a character painting. I feel like I'd be less boring if I was playing a D&D character, don't you? At least that's my general impression. I don't know. Oh, that's fair. Was your session good? And, so as you guys have probably noticed, I'm painting with, like, a garbage paintbrush. You probably can't see that. Still hard to see. Okay, maybe we do need to just deal with autofocus being what it is. Maybe that's what I've just learned. Super fun. I'm really excited to play Witchfire, but I'm waiting for the physical books, and I'm going to make my my gaming group go through it, because I'm just mean like that. Okay, is this going to focus at any point ever? I swear the autofocus on this thing just does not work. Oh, there we go. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not using a particularly good brush, and that's because I'm just applying like the first layer of highlight. And honestly, it doesn't matter how ragged the tip of your brush is. You can still apply a pretty good edge highlight with it as long as you've got a good enough brush control. So I'm just kind of blocking in these colors here. Oop, get you in here. Yeah, these are from the Archangel. And honestly, these are the kind of like the boring side, actually. The other side is much more interesting. I'll show you what that looks like in a sec. But yeah, I'm just sort of like placing highlights with this cruddy brush, because this is one of my brush saving strategies, is that I just don't use the good brush unless I'm like needing it for something. It is what it is. Okay, so just gonna, oh yeah, right there. So we're gonna finish this up, and then I'll show you the other side of the wings, and I'll talk about what I've done here and why this is kind of my foundational layer. Okay, so I need to do more. All right, I'll get to that in a minute. So what this is here is I've done kind of like a teardrop shape of green to go over this, what would be the forearm, I guess. And I've got the upper lights on the big masses of muscle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glaze this surface right here. Let's try and get the camera to focus on this. Right where my brush is pointing. So this divide is not as hard. It's also not this blue in person, but even doing a corrected white balance, I couldn't get it to look exactly right, so I kind of gave up. But yeah, this, on the other hand, is what the other side of these wings looks like, and I'm really quite happy with these. I stole this painting technique from a woman named Katarzyna Zorska, I think is how you pronounce it. She's an incredible painter. She's so much better than me, it's not even funny. And yeah, so this is what they look like together. And yeah, teal and orange, baby. Actually, this is what the entirety of my Legion army looked like anyway before I sold it. It was all like green, bluish teal, and then like orange contrast bits. This looks much better than it did though, which is irritating, because if I'd started with this, I might have kept it. Okay. Yeah, so actually, Ben, it's fun. I'm gonna have a tutorial up on how to do this, maybe later this week. I took pictures of the second wing so that everybody can see how I did it, because I got requests for that a lot. So I'm just gonna glaze in. Now, the important thing that I'm doing here is I'm starting in the dark part and I'm moving into the light part, which is really difficult to see. So let's just try and get this really close. Come on, focus. Focus. I can already tell. Uh-oh. No. It buffered on me. No. All right, well, maybe this is the best we're going to get. I can already tell that I'm going to want a better camera than this in the not super distant future. All right, sounds good. Nightloth, thanks for hopping in. But yeah, so I'm starting in the dark part and I'm working to the light part, and what that's going to do is it's going to make a nice transition, and I'm not going to have to work too hard at it. And I'm just sort of like letting the palette thin the paint down, more or less. Let's do that again right here. Yeah, I'm trying to have it finished tomorrow, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll have pictures up sometime soon. And we are getting to the point where I almost am going to need a better paintbrush than this one, but we're not quite there yet. So basically just every single one of these like big masses of muscle, I'm going to go from the dark, what looks like blue, to, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to use the Streamlabs render and use manual focus because this is ticking me off. There we go. Oh, there's a fly. Great. Hello, Mr. Fly. You are stream famous now. Okay, so I'm just going in from the outside, from the dark to the light, in like this. And this is how I've been doing a lot of my like quote unquote high level painting. Oh, that's good to hear, Ben. Yeah, I don't know what to do about the focus. It's so irritating. I think what I'm going to actually end up doing is setting up my second monitor and having this blown up big on the side, and then just manually focusing the camera with that so I can see it in real time before I have to wait for the Twitch display to catch up, which is very annoying because I'm using a Logitech C920 Pro because that's what was recommended to me by basically every painter that does streaming if I didn't want to spend like $3,000 or $4,000 off the bat, which I don't, because they're like, yeah, I use this $2,000 DSLR camera and I have like a $1,000 lens attached to it for my painting, and then I have like a $500 DSLR camera and another $200 lens attached to that for my wet palette. And I was like, no. Yeah, it's probably just a symptom of who I was asking, to be perfectly honest. Like, I was asking like Cutthroat Cure and Miniature Monthly, and these are people that don't mess around when it comes to quality of image, because they're good enough painters that they really care about that. And I don't know if I'm quite in that category. I have no idea. I should ask him. I actually would really like to get to know Thunderhead. Seems like a cool guy. Okay, this manual adjustment thing is working wonders. So much better, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm pretty much satisfied with that as like early blending. And it's now time. Look at this poor brush. It's time to switch to something a little bit nicer. Uh-oh. We have a cutout. Hold on. Oh, maybe it's just my Twitch that's freaking out. Yeah, I could ask Soshi. I don't know her though. And that's kind of thing is like I was trying to just ask people that I already knew. So maybe that's my problem. I don't know. Okay, it's time for another highlight. She does seem really cool. Yeah, she's one of those ones that I was like absolutely in awe of her painting when I was a bit younger. And now that I've gotten a little bit better, I'm looking at her stuff and going, oh, this is really, really well done. And I can see what you're doing. And that's been kind of fun to do. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing, but I'm going to make my colors a little bit brighter and lighter. And I'm gonna put them in a smaller area with a much crisper brush, because that's just kind of, yeah, it's much better. All right, where are you? There you are. Okay, so we're just gonna take basically that area we went in and make it even smaller, which is really like the advice that everybody tells new painters, is just take the place you just put light color and make that place smaller inside of where you just were. But it's really true. Like, there are not a whole lot of things that you will do where that is not just good advice. And yeah, so now I do need to be a little careful, because right here where I was just highlighting those sort of veins should not be as bright as up here, because this is the top of the muscle. And if you think about the way this is going to sit on the model, right, it's going to sit at basically this angle. So this whole actually underside might be a little bit over highlighted, but frankly, that's probably for the best. On a miniature, you need a lot more contrast than reality gives you to make it look What do you mean? I'm also only going to hit these bigger connection points and leave the center kind of duller, and that's going to help it look like it's got some variation on the surface without me actually having to do anything. Offensively purple sounds fun. I actually have, I don't know, maybe like 75, 80 points worth of Rulic that I was thinking about painting up as a fun little Brawl Machine project at some point. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, So this is the problem with painting over old paint jobs. Like, I don't know if you guys can see them, but there's one right here. There's this little fleck of red in here. 500 points of Rulic. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, so this is the problem with painting over old paint jobs. And I'll show you a picture of what this used to look like in a minute here. Or I'll show you, actually, I have a piece of it that I haven't painted yet. But there's like all these little tiny flecks of red that are showing through that I didn't get with my initial base coat because I was being lazy. No, it's not bleed through. It's just like I literally missed them. Like, look right there. There's one, like, I just missed it. Hello, outsider. How's it going? So yeah, just in the middle of our second highlight here. No, I did not airbrush my base coat. I don't airbrush anything at this point, which I'm aware is actually holding me back in some ways, but I don't have a place to do it. So that's just kind of where we're at. I have an airbrush. It's just sitting in my garage in pieces. So Yeah, we gotta pump that up a little bit. And that's one of the beautiful things about working with paint like this. So I'm just gonna wet blend this a little bit because I went too far on the side there. It's not bad. I just manually brush my base coats on. Yeah. Hold on. I use a big brush though. For things like this, at least, I use a big brush. Where did you go, fellow? Oh, you know what? That particular brush is in the kitchen because I washed it out in the sink. Because it was really, really, really dirty. But I use brushes that are maybe half an inch wide. No, I don't use. Oh, are you talking about for priming? I didn't reprime this model. Which I'm aware is like a crime, but I just didn't. Because when I started this model, it was for me, so I didn't care that much. And then now that I'm finishing it, it's for somebody else. And one of the things that would really make this a lot more difficult to match all of the previous work is if I changed what was underneath the first layer of paint. It would be very, very difficult at that point. Like the undercoat, like the primer and all of those kinds of things really do change what your paint does when you just put it on there. It takes a lot of layers to make sort of like a neutral tone, which is annoying, but it's just kind of like, that's just what it is, right? You can't do a whole lot. Okay. So I'm gonna, probably what I'm gonna do here. Yeah, I've done gray before. I don't know. I just don't like it. I like being able to say, I'm going to start this insanely dark. Also, I find gray primer tends to be... Yeah, you can get good brights out of it. I mean, you can get good brights out of black too. You just have to work at it a bunch. Which... I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I just prefer working from my brights than I do working from my darks. I like my darks to just be there. Yeah, I zenithal a lot as well. And I think it's perfectly fine. Richard, you are an abomination. I don't understand how you paint as well as you do with white primer. Like, I just can't fathom that. I'm trying to look around and see if I've got anything zenithal right now. Not really. Yeah, Zenith done right is really good. What I think a lot of people forget to do is they forget to go at it from the sides and also from the top. Because otherwise you just sort of end up with this really awkward... Really? Man, that would kill me. Yeah, black primer is just so versatile. And it's so, like, here's the thing. I'm also fairly cheap when it comes to things like primer because I hate paying money for consumables that I'm gonna, you know, just use a bunch. And you can get pretty good cheap black primer. You cannot get good cheap white gray primer, at least not that I've found. Oh man. Okay, so this is one of the problems about doing things in halves. Like this middle section here is a disaster. I need to like smooth this out. Let you guys see it. It's been really interesting this last little bit. Interesting. I need to look at Temia's stuff more. Yeah, white primer can't. Well, it's interesting too, because like the thing about white primer is that it's almost gonna always be more predilected to be chalky because it uses titanium molecules and they can only get so small, right? Whereas black primer can just be like, I'm a random chemical combination that's whatever. And I get real dark, even if I'm not a true black. Okay. Yeah, Ben, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, like if I was gonna do Necrons like you and I was gonna do it metallic, I would absolutely prime it with metallics just for the time saving, I think. Because I think if I did Necrons, I would just be like, okay, guys, this is not going to be a high-level paint job army. Let's just accept that right now. Camo. Yeah, I buy one thing of GW Core X White like every 6 to 8 months, and that's my Zenithal top primer. And it works really, really well for that purpose, and I don't go through it very fast if I only use it for that. Camo. I need to look into that. Where do you buy that? Home Depot? I brush everything. Like, if I could, I'd probably brush metals. Oh, like, yeah, I'd primer with a rattle can if I was going to do metals for a whole army like that. Most hardware stores. Okay, see, that's my mistake. I've been going to places like Fred Meyer, which is kind of like a blend between a hardware store and a grocery store, and like an everything store. It's like a mini Walmart. Okay, I'm starting to run out of steam on this for tonight for this particular thing. I may just work on this a little bit longer and put together. I might be able to get them at Freddy's. Interesting. I'll have a look. I haven't paid super close attention. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shade this down a little bit, which I don't really like to do. And I try to avoid shading as much as I physically can. This is a Chimera the Red, by the way. This is the best red in the world, I think. It's slightly better than Khador Red base. Do I think they'll get a biological faction? I doubt it. I don't know, though. So, like, here's the fun thing about me and Warcaster. I've only played, like, 4 games, and they were all, like, pre-Kickstarter #1. Brett and I sort of, like, pieced together rules and played it on Vassal. And it's been a long time since then, and the game has changed a lot, and there's a lot of lore that I don't know anything about at this point. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be mixing here some of the red into the green, and this is just going to sort of like give me a very dull shadow tone that's going to be very nice and saturated with this warmer color. Is the lore really that bad, or is it okay? Yeah, I need to do this with second monitor. Oh, okay. So pre-Kickstarter, yeah, I mean pre-Kickstarter 1 was like before we knew anything about the game. It's actually really funny. The game we played is still on our YouTube channel. You can go find it. It's like from way back in the day. Oh, I actually really like this song. This is a great song. Can you guys hear the music? Like, is it playing for you? Oh, you can't hear any music? Extremely faint. Okay, hold on. I'll turn it up a little bit. I'm assuming we don't want it to be too loud, but how's that? Yeah, Rust-Oleum, I could see their Great Primer being pretty good. I just, man, Rust-Oleum's really great because it dries super flat and it covers really nice and consistently, but man, the cure time, I just, Is the music volume better at this point? Can you guys actually, like, hear it now? Okay. Is it too loud or is it fine? I don't want it to be overpowering. Like, background at best would be what I'd like. Oh, really? Okay. Would it be better if it was louder? 30 to 40 minutes, huh? I haven't actually had, like, success painting on Rust-Oleum stuff until I've let it sit overnight. It never seems like it's cured properly. Maybe I'm putting it on... Maybe I'm putting it on too thick. Or maybe I'm using the wrong stuff, because, like, they've got a bunch of different kinds. Yeah, it's a Mini the Moocher remix. Back when we decided we were eventually going to add stream stuff, I found an Electro Swing collection that's royalty-free because it felt appropriate. Oh, you know what? I may have the paint primer. That might be what it is. Just the primer? Okay. All right, well, that was, I don't know, 45 minutes of work. This is already shaping up to be closer to where this is. Obviously, it's not quite as refined, and this isn't done yet either. And I need to do like the yellow vein. But it's gonna match the Archangel itself really well. This is the big guy right here. Oh, I need to do this head plate still. Haha, I did the other one. But yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. And after that, I have to do the base and 2 little wings, but I think this is going to turn out well, and I think the client will be happy with it. So this is a beautiful model. Well, I mean, we're all on the same road, just in different spots, right? This would have blown all my painting a couple years ago out of the water too. I spent a lot of time on this guy. So, oh, you guys want to see? Yeah, that's fair. I'm actually in a bit of a rut because I've been focusing too much on like display level. So this is what all of that model looked like before I started on it, which is fine. It's just been interesting painting green over top of red. So, you know, there it is. So yeah, I have to do these 2 wings, and then I have to do the base, and I guess I have to do the head crest still, and that'll be that. It'll be good. All right, I'm gonna build something. Is it actual paint for the shade? How do you mean? Floor polish, yikes. I don't know. Yeah, I shade my green with red, and my red with green all the time. But I guess if it was the other way around, trying to paint red off of red over green, that would be really hard. So I'm gonna build this Raker. If you guys want to stick around for that, and one of the things that I was gonna do with this is somebody in the Warcaster Discord asked how I do my bases for these guys. Which this is what they look like for reference. You're gonna judge my assembling skills now? Okay, well be prepared to judge, because I am garbage at assembly compared to painting. There's a reason I don't do many mods. So this is also gonna kind of be like a pseudo unboxing video, because yeah, I actually really like that Warcaster cards come with their sort of fluff piece as part of the thing. I put these all in a binder. I think that's really cool. And speed star, what does that mean? Oh, it's gonna be the same speed as its unit. That must be what it is. Nat 4, that's pretty good. Def 4, arm 4. Good grief. Huh. Yeah, I've been wanting to get some texture rollers. Oh, where are you, big guy? I am doing a conversion on one of my war dogs for 40k. Oh, there you are. I did a conversion, and I made like a really cruddy texture roller, so that I could make these like pipe things here. So it's I definitely see the use. Here's my here's this. I stuck like a long paper clip or something in here and baked it, and then I just rolled the green stuff on it. But yeah, this is my little war dog. I got 3 more like him that are in progress. I hate the way regular war dogs look, so I just sort of said no. And well, I do agree though that the of course it's not painted. I spent 70 hours on the big one. I'm not spending the ludicrous amount of time. I think you can post links in this, yeah. I don't know. Chandler's the one that set up permissions. Give it a try, I guess. I have been really, really happy actually with the Warcaster packaging. I like that I can just fold it up and throw it in the recycling bin. And also, I think this would be a pretty good palette too. It's nice and smooth, and I wouldn't feel bad about throwing it out. Something to think about. Anyway, so yes, it certainly does, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a good analogy. They do feel like candy bags because they're that wax paper stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to assume you guys have never seen a Raker because I hadn't before this either. So we got a body which has like a mold line running down the whole thing, which is maybe slightly annoying, but oh well. And then we've got a head piece. Yep. And then we've got 4 little puppy feet. This guy should be really fast to build. Night, Ben. Thanks for hanging out, man. Yeah. It's good to know that there's other options out there than Green Stuff World, because basically the Green Stuff World stuff is the only stuff I've seen. And I kind of don't want anything to do with it, to be honest. Okay, so I have focused it back down to this area because I'm going to be doing a lot of building down here. I think, is that in focus? This is about where I want it. There we go. Okay, so for assemblage, you need an X-Acto knife. Cool, I'll give them a look. Some snips, glue. I would normally wash these, but I'm not gonna, because I think I can make this work. And then for my bases, I use wood filler, which is just, this is a cheap thing. I bought this for like $3. I wash things all the time. All right, night, man. Thanks for hanging out, Fluffy. But I kept buying the like 6-inch cubes of this stuff, and it kept drying out. So I bought this little dude for like $2, and maybe we'll get through all of it. And I'm going to apply that with this big wide plastic thing. I have no idea where I got this. It's like a really, really cruddy modeling kit thing, or like a sculpting kit thing. It's just a piece of plastic. So, you know, it's a couple bucks. Yeah, I have way nicer sculpting tools, but this is the one I use because it's cheap and I don't care if I wreck it. Like, I have my clay shapers, and I have my metal sculpting tools, which are in a box up there that I don't feel like getting down. Yeah, I have those too, yeah. So, all right. So this is going to be pretty easy to put together. I think I'm just going to, like, scrape down this mold line that I've got here, and then just sort of, like, feel it, see if it's still there. And it is, so I'll just do that. And then there's a little thing there, looking down the length of the whole thing. Nothing really there. Okay, this is the thing I need to get rid of. Hi, JP. How's Cyclops going? Oh, that bad, huh? Alright. Okay, honestly, I think that might be all of the assemblage I need to do. Or at least all of the cleaning on this particular piece. I like this model quite a bit, actually. It looks a lot like a rake, which I kind of enjoy. Okay, okay, I actually don't need these snips. That's kind of nice. You've been watching on mute for the last 50 minutes? Well, that's nice of you. Yeah, JP's nickname is Dr. Doom, and you get a lot of that. Okay, I'm just pre-scoring this because I'm absolutely gonna have grip issues otherwise. So for the legs, oh, you know what? There's a tiny mold line right here that I suppose I will clip or trim, file, whatever. Okay. This is going to go together real easy, I think. Well, I say that, and I'm going to spend like 45 minutes holding the connection points together. I'll show you what I do for that in a sec. I don't think so. Man, I'm a conflicted man. So there's part of me that really wants to, really wants to trim this, like the between the toe spots, but part of me, I just don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. I use Gorilla Super Glue because I do not like Loctite Super Glue very much. It is a pain to trim it, and like I'm about to bury it in. You've done 3. Do you actually play them all? Yeah, I can't be wrong, and it is okay. You're right. I don't need to be correct about everything. So have they really? Okay, hold on a second. You had 2v2 events and now you've got Brawl Machine instead? Yeah, if I was gonna use base inserts, I would absolutely spend the time to remove it. I think that's the correct call, 100%. All right, so yeah, I see, Gorilla Glue Blue Cap is the best. The gel stuff is just, it doesn't last very long. Okay, so I'm, you're right, 2 people can't be wrong. I'm just scoring the heck out of these connection spots because I'm not washing this, so it's gonna be a little messier. Oh, interesting. 50 points 2v2. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying Brawl Machine. That's super fun to hear. It's honestly like I cannot believe how many people are playing Brawl Machine. It blows my mind. Every single time I see a post anywhere where people are like, yeah, we played a bunch of Brawl Machine this week, and I'm just like, what? Okay. It's weird. But I'm flattered and ecstatic that people enjoy it. It's been really fun to see that. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, we did. We made the thing. I do plan at some point in the not very distant future to make a 50-point Brawl Machine-esque format. Yeah, that's true. Their small scale game is pretty garbage. Well, at least I don't enjoy it very much, I should say. Okay. So, I'm gonna put the head on last because it's kind of irrelevant, honestly. And this piece I'm gonna put on first. Hold on a minute. Where does this even connect to? You go like this? Wait. Squares and triangles? Explain, please. Hold on, I need to look at this picture. Okay, so this leg is going forward. It's not supposed to be hitting the ground. Always, always, always dry fit, guys. Okay, I'm just going to assume this got bent because that feels like a thing that would happen. And yeah, see, now that fits perfectly. Okay. Yeah, dry fit everything before you commit to gluing it. Abstract shapes measuring distances. Interesting. I mean, I can see why that would be a reasonable design, because I consider Marvel Crisis Protocol, which has proprietary measuring sticks for everything. Oh, they just actually measured specific distances. All right, I'm less of a fan of that, but all right, we get to sit here now for a moment. Probably only like 20-30 seconds though. This should set fast. Yeah. All right. That. Nope. 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 We will sit for longer. Yeah, I don't use quick set stuff. Somebody mentioned it up the page a little ways, or up the chat a little ways, because in my experience, it makes the bond too brittle for my taste. Which, like, I have small boys. Brittle bonds are bad. Yeah. So, all right. That's good and secure now, I guess. Let's do the other side. This one, okay, this one actually fits properly out of the bat. So I'm gonna just apply some glue to this. Normally, I would apply glue to the other piece because it has the dimple on it. However, because this guy has the cabling on it, I'm gonna apply glue there so that I can put it in there where it needs to go and not have to try and make glue go into a little like millimeter hole. Bob Smith International. Okay, I had never heard of that. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. Bob Smith International. Actually, I'm going to write that down because if I don't, I'll forget it. Show. Nope, I'm going to throw that out. Bob Smith International. I'm just going to try and remember that. Oh no. What I'll do is I'll write it on top of this thing because whatever. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember that. Thanks for the tip. I am always open to trying out something new if it makes assembling models easier. Okay, so now for these guys, I'm not going to dry fit them because they don't have multiple connection points, and I'm feeling a little arrogant right now. I'm sure the universe will humble me momentarily. That's what it likes to do. Okay, and I'm just going to like look really close and try to make those legs line up exactly right, which I think I more or less have. Yeah. That's a lot. That's pretty reasonably close. I mean, and here's the other thing. I'm going to be applying a wood filler putty underneath it, so like... Oh, interesting. I've heard Hobbytown glue is really good, but I've never had a chance to buy it. Well, I've never had a chance to use it, because whenever... Like, we used to run tournaments in a Hobbytown, and whenever I won prize money, I just instantly use it to buy stuff for my boys. Like, I got my sons a ton of, like, wooden blocks and stuff through Hobbytown through that, which is really nice. So, yeah. All right, cool. I'll have a look at it. And, yeah, I have watched a lot of Tested, actually. A lot recently, actually, which I think it's a little bit crazy you mentioned it there. It's been really fun. I didn't watch a lot of Mythbusters as a kid because I didn't have cable. But... Okay, good to know. Yeah, I'm not... White labels to a lot of hobby shops. Interesting. I'm not super interested in changing my super glue. I like it a lot, and I can buy it locally for cheap. But excuse me. I used to manage a hobby town. That's very cool. I don't think I could ever work at a hobby store because I would immediately spend all of my paycheck at the hobby store. Okay. So that's the Raker. That went together really easy. It's a sweet little mini. I don't know if it fits the rest of the faction insanely well, but it's really cool. Okay, so normally what I would do now is I would glue this puppy to the base. He's actually a puppy. And then I would put the wood filler around him. However, because he's got 3 little dinky connection points and I don't really want to mess around with that, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to apply the wood filler, and then I'm going to hollow out the area where I want his feet to go, and then I'm going to glue him down, and I will use like probably my X-Acto knife to put in the rest of it. So I'm just going to get myself a nice little, you know, scoop of this stuff. It looks like, you know, dirt basically. And actually, this is what I discovered it for, is I was making like dirt forest bases, and I wanted something that was a little more texture-y, but not as like as texture-y as rocks basically, you know, like the filler stuff, the flock. It's not flock, is it? The little ballistic gravel things. And so I found some of this, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And it works really, really well. You can do all kinds of interesting things with it. When you put it on there, you can see that texture. It's a really good dirt texture, and it will dry exactly like that. And it dries very hard, because like it dries to the same tensile strength theoretically as like a softwood, which is more than enough for a hobby game. And you can drill into it because it's basically a softwood. But if you get it wet, you can make it look like mud, because it actually dries. Like removing moisture from itself is how it cures, which is kind of unusual for stuff like this. Normally you'd be thinking of like a 2-part reactor for some kind of epoxy stuff. Anyway, so there you go. I'm gonna leave it about that textured, I think. You want a little bit, and you want even more if you're actually going for dirt. So I'm just gonna scrape the rest of that back into here, and you know, wipe that off with a paper towel before it goes hard, because once it goes hard, like once it cures fully, let me see if I can focus this properly. It's really hard to see it. There's like little white flecks there. There you go. I don't know if it can pop off of a plastic base, actually. I haven't tried. Another method that I use for basing things that I used on my Chaos Knights absolutely does. And for my Death Guard. Let me. So this stuff right here, I used basically plaster mixed with rocks for this, and that pops off really easy. I have never had a wood putty base pop off though. I haven't tried to pop it off, but I have never had it pop off. What I'm going to do now is just basically make some indents. Yeah, that'll work. And now the annoying thing about this stuff is like it's not sticky enough to hold down a metal model when it goes in. So if you just try to put it on there and assume it'll cure around it, it won't. So I found that out the hard way a few times. So we're just gonna clean that up. And I made these indents so that I can just sort of scrape out what we got here. And I'll go back in with my X-Acto knife here in a minute and push more into there. But for now I want to be able to glue right to the plastic base. And if I was really concerned, I would probably go back and pin this in, but like, I don't want to do that. I really want to try the Vallejo earth and like mud and all those other things, but the thing is, those cost money, and this was $2. And I rest my case. I am certain that those are actually superior products because they're designed to do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, man. Every time I like go to buy some, like it's been in my shopping cart a number of times, and I've just been like, and then not done it. Cause, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather spend my money on models or paint or taking my kids out for dinner or buying my wife surprises, stuff like that. Okay, so now we have, okay, close enough. So now that's going to be glued right to the base, which is what we want. And I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife, which has a much finer point on it. And I'm just going to come around here, and I'm just going to be like, go in to there, please. Another good trick with this stuff, and actually for any, like, stay. Any kind of, like, this is dirt and probably mud-ish base style of thing, is that if your base is big enough to put footprints behind where your thing was, it looks pretty cool if you do. I'm not going to do that with this one because I feel like this particular guy would probably have just jumped to where he is. But, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's a Raker. So that takes about 20 minutes for this thickness of material to dry properly. At least where I live. And I live in a fairly dry climate, so it might take longer if you live somewhere wet. But yeah, we're just going to set him down. And I think interesting. Yeah, maybe I should pick up some of the better stuff. Cause yeah, I mean, I know I'm not using the most high-tech things in the world. I mean, here's my painting handle, or one of them. It's a dowel. And here's my other painting handles. They're all spray paint tops. So if I can make it on a budget, I try to do that because it just leaves more space for other things. Here's my grafter. I got like 15 minutes of work on him last night, 20 minutes of work. I'll finish him later. We're gonna build, oh, I don't know. Should I build Factotum or Astreus next? And after this, I think I'll probably cut it down for the night. Because an hour and a half-ish is plenty long, I think. Opinions, anyone? Okay. Oh no, we have one person for each. 2 for Astreus. Okay. So the reason I switched to a handle is because I started to get significant hand cramps in my offhand, and I don't know. They all went away after this, or after that, so I will probably never go back. Cool. So this is Astreus. I don't know anything about him other than that he looks awesome. Oh, should I read his fluff? Is Wolf still here? Does he want to listen to me read something? Alright, here you go. Let's do this. Unlike the soulless Servitor legions, they lead in battle across the Hyper-Iranian. The Aeons are true Empyreans, elder souls drawn back from the great constellation inhabiting robotic forms of arcanescence and alloyed steel. The most ancient and revered of these enlightened masters of war are those of the first magnitude, an honor reserved for the Empyrean's greatest champions. Among them is Astreus, a veteran of countless wars dating back to the unification of the galaxy. Little remains of Astreus' mortal self, having been lost utterly to the crush of time. What remains is an unflinching, calculating, and unpredictable warrior utterly devoted to his cause. I feel like a computer-ish thing being unpredictable is a bit of a weird, like, oddity to me, but maybe not. All right, let's look at this guy. So 3 wounds, that's pretty decent. Speed 6, that's good. Mat 5, Rat 5. Okay, I'm pretty new to this game, but those are bananas-ly good stats, right? And Def 4, Arm 4 is also bananas-ly good, and he can use both of his weapons in the same round because of that rule. That seems good. Is this the spray icon right here? Is this thing a spray? Why does he have a Rat 5 spray? Wow. Okay, so charge it with an arc after you've targeted with Cypher. Aeons were living. Okay, fair enough. It is strafe. Oh, it's strafe. Okay. That's still ridiculous. +3 def against ballistic. What? Okay. Whoa, realignment codex is insane. How much does this guy cost to summon? DC 1? What? That means I only have to pay 1 arc to summon this thing, right? What? This is crazy. That seems ridiculously unfair. Whoa, this is a lot of pieces. Okay, so he's a 40 mil base, which I love. Oh man, look at that chunky boy. That's really cool. And he's got these huge... Okay. Right. I mean, that's fair, but... He's def 7 against ballistic weapons. Alright, well, fair enough. If heroes just tend to be stronger, then alright. Okay, I love... Like, I absolutely adore the Empyrean, like... flowy tendril things. Like, that's so good. Yeah, I knew it was on the ISA Weaver. But I didn't realize other factions had gotten access to that. Okay, I'm looking at these pieces and like here's a piece of injection flash. On this particular model. Actually, I don't see any mold lines on him. There's a little bit of like something to trim right there. Oh. Okay. I found one. It's tiny. Hold on a sec. Okay. You can't even see it on the camera. It's right here. There's just a teeny little one. That's incredible. This is a beautiful cast. Props to whoever cast this. Okay. And then on these things, which there should be a huge mold line somewhere. Nope. Nope. There's a teeny one. There's a little itty bitty one. It's right here. And it only goes for like an inch. No, not even. Like half. There's a little bit of a mold line right there. The legs are flawless. I don't see any mold lines at all on that one. Okay, there's one on that one. So hold on. I need to trim that. I need to trim this and this and this. Wow. This is going to be a really fun spear to paint. I think, honestly, like, as dumb as this is, because I've been painting a ton of this for Chandler's Ret, I'm going to keep painting the default Empyrean scheme because it is gorgeous, and I just can't imagine doing anything else, to be honest. Okay, that needs a little bit of a trim. Other hand. Does this just go like this? Yeah, it does. Wait, I'm confused. Why is this a separate piece? I guess the undercuts were probably too much. Okay, this is going to be a really fun model to build. So let's trim some stuff. So, got to trim that off. And honestly, like, oh, there we go. There's like an actual thing on the back. Man, kudos, Privateer Press. Your sculpts and the quality of these casts for Warcaster across the board have just been so good. Like, even after working with nothing but hard plastic for a couple of months, this does not feel laborious at all. Okay, this needs a trim. I can kind of see where a couple of my friends are coming from when they say that they're slightly annoyed by the fact that Empyreans are largely like humanoids, basically. But, whatever. Alright, so once again, we're gonna cut us a whole bunch of grooves in the receiving. They do look like Protoss. Actually, that'd be a very cool color scheme. So, sorry guys, I gotta get used to centering things in the camera when I'm working with them. I'm just used to sort of like sitting wherever's comfortable. Okay, so we're gonna do the legs first, and I like to do the legs first because that means that I can put it in the base and I can use it, hold it on the base or stand it up on the base, which is always good fun. I don't know if they'll make a hive mind biological faction in Warcaster. Like, I literally know nothing about the inner workings of this game, which is actually super fun. It's been really refreshing to not like have any expectation at all about any of the stuff going on. They should? I don't know, maybe. I mean, it's a very, very popular trope, so I can't imagine they won't at some point. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's early days still. The game's been out for like a year, basically, right? Man, I love this model. I'm so excited to paint this. I wonder if I should blue tack some of this. I almost think I should. Where's my big pile of used up blue tack? There it is. I guess this is gray tack. Okay, so I'm gonna think really hard about gray tacking some of this together so that I can paint it easier, but I want to see what it looks like first. I'm a big fan of sub-assemblies. And this goes like, oh no, stay, dang you. Yeah, that is one of the more exciting things about Warcaster, to be honest, is that there's like a whole lot of stuff to explore. It'll be really interesting. Oh, really? It's just better than the factotum? That's fair. Yeah, no, this model is gorgeous. I am so excited. All I have left to do for Eternus at this point is this Scourge, which I still need to magnetize. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 or 7 magnet holes to drill. And finish this grafter, which I think I got like less than 30 minutes of work left in him, probably. He's pretty close. And paint the Raker I just built. And then the entire Eternus skirmish force is done, which is going to be great. I'll have worked on it for just over a week and a half with everything else on top of it. So that's not bad at all, actually. Like, to be perfectly honest, I'm quite happy with that speed. Especially because like I was working on this Archangel at the same time, and it got so much more of my attention than these guys did. Gotta make the paying clients happy before you work on your own stuff. But that'll be done soon, and then I'm going to give myself a couple of days between this and my next commission. I have a Risovas Defender unit to paint for Chandler. And then after that, I'm picking up a couple of Men at Archons to paint for somebody, which will be interesting. That model is also very pretty, and I won't mind it too much, I hope. Huh, okay, so hold on, you don't like the factotum model. What does the factotum model even look like? I mean, it looks like a death probe from Star Wars, kind of. Okay. I think these legs are cured enough now. So we're just gonna dollop some glue here and here. It used to freak me out gluing the tabs in because I was like, now I'm committed and I don't know if I'm gonna want to do something else or not. Oh, is this ASMR hobbying? Is that what I'm doing? Because, like, real talk, my voice doesn't sound that pleasant inside my head. Interesting. So, I've been surprised that that comment has come up a number of times this evening. Well, I could just brand the entire thing as that, and, you know. Yeah, you brought it up, and a couple of other people have brought it up now. Which is interesting, because it's also, like, full disclosure, out of the three of us on the cast, if I had to rate it, like, voice-wise, I'd go Chandler, then Brett, then me. As far as, like, pleasant to listen to goes, I think. I mean, your username kind of gives you away, and I keep track of who's on the server, so. I am a certified teacher, so I hope I'm good at explaining things. I've spent, like, oh gosh, am I going into my 10th year already? I might be going into my 10th year of teaching this year. Is it my 10th? No, it's my 9th. Okay, still. I'm going into my way too manyth year of teaching. This little hand here cracks me up. I'm very surprised that this is a separate piece. This reminds me just a little bit of Marvel Crisis Protocol. Okay, I need some pliers or tweezers or something. Can I make this work? Okay, sorry. I had to do that off camera a little bit because this is one of the most finicky little connections ever. Yeah, it probably was rough to cast it with the hand on, to be honest, looking at this a little bit closer. Like, I totally agree. This is very pointy. JP, Cyclops' I-beam slot is fine. Yeah, that makes it harder. I don't really have steady hands either, so I sympathize, man. It gets sketched sometimes. Okay. Where does this thing go? No, my strike force. All right. Does this go up his back? Like, does this go on top of his back? I think it must. Okay. So this goes... Oh yeah, it totally does. That's really cool. Do I need to leave this off? Let's see. Can I get in there with a paintbrush? Do I care that much? I'm going to be speed painting this too. I mean, yes, of course I care, because this is a gorgeous model. I'll probably spend... 540p is probably just because my internet is struggling right now. And it's auto-uploading. Yeah, absolutely. General questions, totally fine. This is just sort of like a dry run for future streams. In the future, I will almost certainly have my computer wired right into my router so that I can do as best quality as possible. Yeah, this model is awesome. I think it's quite lovely. I'm very excited to paint it. He looks like he's going to be ridiculous on the table. What rule, JP? Oh, that you should always be hot-wired into your router? It's halfway across the house, man. When I moved into this apartment, I wasn't married. I didn't plan on having my computer not be in that room. Sorry. What type of model do I enjoy painting the most and why? I like painting one of a few, like, here's kind of like my top 3 favorite things to paint in a model. Number 1, does it have a cloak that's awesome? Because I like painting cloaks a lot. Do I have any examples kicking around? Not really. Most of my painted stuff is put away right now. But, like, for example, I'm speed painting through my Eternus Continuum stuff. So, like, this fellow, you know, he looks okay. And then I painted Hierotheus Raxus, who has one of the cooler looking, like, I don't know, cloth looking things in the faction. And instead of spending 45 minutes painting him, I spent an hour and a half painting him, and all of that extra time was on the cloth. So I will go out of my way to paint cloaks that are cool. I did my first freehand on cloaks. I did my first, like, really, really hard attempt at 2-brush blending on cloaks. So I love cloaks. My second favorite thing is big open panels that I can freehand junk on. Let me grab one thing real fast. All right. Yeah, he does look okay. I painted him in like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that. So I don't know how well this is going to show up on stream. Holy heck, he's big. Okay, so this is my Chaos Knight that I spent 1,000,000 hours on. I really enjoy pushing myself to freehand stuff. So, like, this is a picture of a Khorne Bloodthirster that I found on the internet and was like, I should paint that. And then over here is the artwork on the Demon's Codex, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, trust me, there are people out there that make me look like a kid. Oh, yeah, and then this thing. That's what the first time in a long time that my wife's gone, oh my goodness, that looks amazing. So that was gratifying. But yeah, this guy was a lot of fun to paint. I enjoyed him. And then the third thing that I really like about a model is when they have a super dynamic pose, or they've got some really, really interesting textures to do, or when it's something bigger and I can try some weird stuff out on it. So, like, for example, this guy, I painted him with some interesting restrictions. Like, I painted him entirely with a brush that looked like this, pretty much. And so I gave myself, like, a 2-hour time limit, and I was like, you're not allowed to blend anything, and you've got to, you know, just do this with a crappy brush. And I did it while we podcasted one day. And so there's a lot of different textures on him that I got to paint on there. Like, I painted all the scratches on his armor, and I painted the skin, which is always interesting. So I really want to do another War Machine bust at some point, because they're actually really great pieces. Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? I guess I also really like to be able to go nuts on colors. So if I have an opportunity, that's like part of my Eternus stuff. Okay. I gotta finish Astreus, and I gotta get done with this. It's getting late. So I gotta glue these. Oh, okay. This is another thing that I really like about the Eternus stuff. The flanges, the wing bit things. All right, night JP. Have a good one. The wing flange duders being the sockets for the arms is really cool. That's a beautiful piece of design there. I really enjoy that. Yeah, this model is incredible. This is one of the best. This is, like, hands down one of the best models Privateer Press has ever produced. And I don't think it's close. Like, there's maybe a few that are in this category, but there are not many. This is gonna be so fun to paint. If you don't know what the Empyrean scheme looks like, this is what it looks like. And I'm painting Retribution with this, but some models actually have tentacle attacks. Cool. Astreus doesn't, but yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that I'm going to paint this scheme for the Eternus or the Empyrean stuff. I'm just going to be a little bit more like, if you look here, like the highlights aren't super extreme. I didn't go nuts with those. I didn't make the gemstones as smooth as I could have. All the sabers do? Do they really? I haven't even looked at the sabers cards yet. Yeah, cloaks are a bit annoying to paint the insides of, but these ones are so tiny that I was like, whatever. We'll live. Alright, and now I get to attach this. Does this have a nice key in? It does. Because those all stand around the edges. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, most of the things that people commission me to paint are normal-ish looking paint jobs. Like, this dude is paying for a better than normal paint job, but most things are just so like, let's paint mid-high table, like, high tabletop low display quality and be happy. So once again, because I don't have the fantastic BSI stabilizer stuff, I'm just gonna score the ever-living heck out of these. Oh, that had a really nasty mold line on it. How did I miss that? Oh, because it's on a connector point and I didn't care. Right. And then I'm going to glue these in, and then I'm going to call it for the night. I'm almost 100% certain that this stream recorded itself, because that's the setting we set it to all the way back at the beginning, and I can't imagine that changed. So I am planning to put this on YouTube, and people will be able to come watch it. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a dry run for a more regular type thing that Brett and I want to do, like a once a week kind of paint stream, where I paint and Brett asks questions, and you guys can come hang out and chat with us. But this has been a lot of fun. There were a lot more people here than I thought there were going to be. We had like 15, 16 people here for a lot of it, which was insane. I was not expecting that many at all. So that was really fun. And, you know, got, let's see, painting more open spaces. I don't know. It's just kind of the thing you do over time. Like, I just eventually saw them as opportunities to experiment and push myself harder. Because, like, okay, can I hold this with one hand so I can grab something? Not really. Okay, when this is done gluing, I will grab a couple things and show them, and show the different kinds of things that I was doing. But open spaces are fantastic because they're effectively a canvas. You can do as little with them as you want. You can do as much of them as you want. And, you know. Okay, I think that's going to stay. Man, just look at this model. That is so incredibly cool. I'm so excited to paint this dude. It's going to be so much fun. I mean, it did only take, I don't know, 45 seconds a minute. Yeah, it's a beautiful model. So, like, when I was starting, I took big spaces as an opportunity to try and get really good at blends and make them smooth. And this is what I spent a long time practicing and trying to figure out how to do. And then once I figured that out, I saw open spaces as a lot more of an opportunity to play with texture and things, or make them more subtle, like this dude. So like this big open space here, just play with those colors and those gradients and see what you can do with them. Well, the vibrancy is because I'm using some of the best paint in the world. I don't know if I can take all the credit for that. But, and then, you know, eventually I was like, I want to freehand stuff, dang it. And so I started just putting things on there. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. This was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I'll be posting this on YouTube. I'm not going to use Bright Primer, Richard. Gosh dang it. Oh, by the way, Richard, you got to tell me, how was my building technique? You said you were going to judge. Yeah, I guess it does look a little bit like a candy commercial. I use Chimera colors for most of my stuff. They're really good. It was fine. All right, I'll take it. Anyway, have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.